Mocktails have become increasingly popular in society and even trendy on social media. And Dr. Brandy Zachary, founder of the Functional Medicine Academy, joins me now via Zoom with some helpful tips on the benefits of mocktails. Dr. Z, excited to speak with you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm excited to talk about this topic because I'm a total mocktail girl. That's what I order every time I go out.
I love that. And there's a lot of people with you too, which is why we're kind of talking about this today. So first things first, would you say that functional beverages are actually beneficial?
Most of the time, not. They can be, and I think the trend is going there that they're trying to actually make them have benefit. The challenge is, it's historically they've just been an alternative to an alcoholic beverage,
Yeah.
and they're high in sugar. So that's the
Mm.
problem we run into.
Okay, but
Is they're
they're,
nutritionally devoid and too
yeah.
much sugar.
Okay, that does make sense. So with that, then what are kind of things we should be on the lookout for?
So if you can read labels, in a restaurant, you're gonna have to ask questions about ingredients.
Sure.
But now they're selling them in the grocery stores, right? So you have a chance to read the label and see the sugar content, and you don't want it to be like comparable to a soda, right?
Mm.
So you don't want it to be so high, especially since, let's be honest, most people, they don't just drink one, right? They're gonna drink multiples.
This is true.
So we have to think about that sugar content. You don't want to spike your blood sugar. You'll have a
Mm.
crash later. But you can start looking for like certain ingredients, like maybe ashwagandha, which is very calming and good for adrenals. These are herbs. Or maybe L-theanine, right, which is an amino acid that can
Mhm.
support relaxation or focus. Or lavender, right, another plant that can support relaxation or even promote sleep, things like
Mm.
this. So when you see those in a drink, the question is, number one, is it good quality?
Mm.
Because unfortunately, you can get a lot of junk out there.
Sure.
So it has the label, but there's no real quality in it.
Yeah.
So is it good quality from someplace you trust? And then is there enough of it
Mm.
to have a therapeutic benefit? Because you can toss anything on a label and it might just be a whiff
Yeah.
and nothing therapeutic to actually impact your body. And that was sort of the controversy with Poppy, the drink, the prebiotic drink that has a lawsuit now,
Mm.
because they have gone out with claims that it's good for gut health. And so prebiotics, if that's a new term for anyone, this is like a beneficial, a form of fiber
Mm.
and sometimes other ingredients. They feed the beneficial bacteria that you want in your gut,
Yeah.
which impacts your mood and your energy and your hormones and your poop, right? So
Yeah.
you want to have happy, healthy bacteria. And so Poppy makes these claims, and what the lawsuit against them is that there's not enough of it
Mm.
to have an impact. I think honestly, Poppy has some legs to stand on with that. I
Yeah.
think they might win.
Okay, that's interesting. Well, and it's interesting too with you saying that because I think about as, just an everyday consumer, we see things like poppy or we see lavender added in every drink now and we're like, oh, immediately I feel healthier. I feel like I'm doing something right. So it's interesting that really you should think a little bit deeper about it. Now, something else that's really interesting to me about this whole thing is kind of the absorption differences of what we're taking in. So how would you say that, taking your necessary supplements through something like a vitamin differs from getting that from some kind of beverage?
Well, so sometimes we're actually trying to do something like sublingual, and you can get it into your metabolism quickly, and you avoid the first pass of going through your liver. So that's actually something therapeutically, as practitioners, depending on the patient we're working with, we might want that. Or we might have a patient who has a gag reflex or has a digestive issue, and they can't swallow a bunch of pills or capsules. And so getting something in a liquid or a powder, or working with a little one, like a pediatric patient, right?
Yeah.
It's more desirable. But the other side of that is your stomach is like a battery. It's supposed to be so acidic,
Mm.
a pH of 2 or less. And so you also have to think about, what is the true absorption of something and how much of it is just going to be consumed
Mm.
by your stomach acid. Like
Yeah.
if you want something to really get far enough to get in your colon, your lower intestine,
Sure.
a lot of times we do what's called an enteric coated capsule. It's designed to bypass stomach acid, make its way through the spaghetti of your small intestines, and try to get into your large intestines. So through a beverage, how much of that gets by?
Mm-hmm. That's really interesting. Again, it's just like that kind of reminder to really think about what you're taking in each day. Now, we've teased it a little bit, but mocktails really are kind of like in right now. They're kind of like the it thing. So why don't you tell me a little bit about the rise in mocktails and kind of other functional beverages within our society?
Well, the thing I like about it most is that the trend towards we want to have non-alcoholic options, and that's normal. That's not an abnormal thing, right? So if someone wants to have an alcoholic beverage, fine. If someone wants to have a non-alcoholic beverage, we want to normalize this, and that cocktail hour can be alcohol or mocktails.
Hmm.
And then a lot of times people, there is a price you pay for alcohol, right?
Hmm.
So a lot of times people will choose a non-alcoholic beverage and you can have more health benefits from that. So again, you have to watch that sugar
Hmm.
because sugar can damage your liver also a
Yeah.
different way than alcohol will. But we have to be mindful of that. But normalizing this and getting creative, I really do think is beneficial. I like seeing that trend, and I do start to see like millennials and some of the youth
Mm.
that are actually um, normalizing this idea of a sober lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a good trend,
Yeah.
right? Like we're not sad if our kiddos are like, I want to live a sober lifestyle. Great,
Yeah.
go good for you. They're thinking of their body more.
Hmm.
They're thinking more of I need a daily workout.
Hmm.
I need a mindfulness practice. So I think anytime we have an overall wellness consciousness, that's something we should encourage.
Yeah, I would totally agree. And it's interesting too, because, right now we're seeing, in addition to mocktails, we're seeing this kind of huge boom in like non-alcoholic drinks. We're seeing a lot of these big kind of beer brands or seltzer brands come out with a non-alcoholic version to kind of help people, with that sober lifestyle choice. So how would you say that just like overall kind of all of this is impacting both social culture and then social drinking?
I think social drinking it's going to have a big help. I just like I mean imagine here's what I would equate it to. A lot of people have like a gluten allergy
Mm.
or a gluten sensitivity. They're not celiac, right? That's a smaller percentage, but having wheat and gluten really makes them feel sick. So then when they go to a party or they go to a friend's dinner or they go to a restaurant and there's no options, it's not good. They can't participate. They might get themselves in a situation that truly makes them sick, or they just feel sort of ostracized.
Mm.
So now I equate to what's happening with mocktails the same way. That instead of someone feeling like, oh, I'm going to be in a bar situation and I'm going to feel tempted, or I'm going to feel like there's poor choices, or I'm going to go to this baby shower or a friend's, retirement party or whatever it
Mhm.
is, and I'm going to feel awkward because I'm a non-drinker for whatever reason, either by choice because they want to be healthy or maybe they had addiction issues in the past. Now with mock, they're not advertising what their situation is.
Mhm.
They're just fitting in with everyone else who's like, not a lifestyle choice. So I think that's really a good thing socially.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of removing those barriers or just maybe like the embarrassment factor as well, just making everything more comfortable. Well, Dr. Z, thank you so much for taking the time to educate me on everything happening in mocktails and functional beverages. For all our viewers, consider venturing into this world of mocktails and functional beverages, and we will be right back.